Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Sense of Things once again, a weekly outlook of what's going on in the world, what's going on in the markets, what's going on in the economy, and sometimes what's going on, fun things in business. Today's show, it's going to be exciting. Ron's going to take the lead on this one, and we're going to finish up his list from the last show of the top 27 or however many it was. I don't even know at this point. This will be
27.
11 through 17 of the most interesting business facts. We're also going to cover the fastest growing jobs, and Ron's going to go over some AI tools. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back on in just 1 second. All right, guys, welcome. We're glad to be here. Ron, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Doing well. Thank God. The storm is through Florida. Just
Yeah.
the assessment's going to need to be done. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was watching the news coverage this morning from the weather channels, and quite frankly, I think it may even be, as far as storm surge wise, it may actually be bad, more or damage wise. It may have been worse on the front or the back side of it more than the front side, because the east coast of Florida got whipped to death with
Yeah.
tornadoes and stuff.
Yeah. It's
So
all bad. So sending
we
best
we say,
wishes.
yeah, we're thinking about all you folks that are down there. Unfortunately, with 3 million people out of power, you may not be able to hear us right now, but we are thinking about you and praying for you. So, Ron, you've got some cool stuff. I know you
Do.
wanted to talk about the, the rest of your list of fun things, and let's kick that off.
All right. Let me know when you see the screen.
It is there.
All right. So we covered 1 through 10 a week ago. We're going to go through 11 through 27 pretty quickly. Some of these things are just make you think. Either you do remember or you don't. But as of 2014, Apple had enough money to buy Facebook, Netflix, Tesla,
Wow.
Twitter, Dropbox, Pandora, Spotify combined, with 59 billion to spare. Obviously, fast forwarding this, they might not have been able to buy Facebook, Netflix, or Tesla, but certainly most of these other companies.
Yeah, and they probably could buy them today if they wanted to.
Yep. And who doesn't love the smell of coffee? Dunkin Donuts in South Korea started spraying coffee aroma to public buses every time their jingle played. Coffee sales increased
This is
29%.
brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, the problem is, what would make them possibly go into Dunkin Donuts other than listening to commercial and associating the smell? They'd go anywhere and get the coffee, right?
That's true, but it's great. That's awesome marketing. It's like going to Universal Studios where they spray you in the face on every ride.
And here's something fun. Smoke up, baby. In March 2014, Colorado sold 19 million worth of cannabis. 1.9 of those sales went to schools, and crime fell by 10%.
Okay, I'm not figuring the logic of all that makes no sense.
Well, that's because they were a lot calmer, but I bet
Well, they're all stoned to the bejesus now at this point, but yeah.
crime might have gone down 10%, but I think Kit Kat and Snickers sales went up 30%.
Yeah, I'd love to see the sales of all the just from the munchies in those areas to see how it affected the economy.
Absolutely. Late night Wendy's. Ah, oh shoot, do I need to pay that? Coca-Cola owns all the domain names that can be read as such as ah.com, 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 and so on, all the way up to 62 ahs. So they have the money for this, but I don't know who the hell's going to want to actually want that as their domain, but God bless.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking to myself, I don't associate with Coca-Cola, but okay.
No, but I think you and I need to go get the 63rd H.
Yeah, no kidding. Eventually they'll figure they need to do it. Yeah.
Need a boost? It's been scientifically proven that praise rather than criticism is the best way to help employees improve. I think we all knew that already.
Yeah.
Buying seashells in London, the Shell Oil Company began as a novelty shop in London that sold seashells.
Then I have no clue. And it
That's
began
right
in
next to
London
the
because
Pet
I
Rock
thought
shop too,
it's
I
a
guess.
Dutch company, isn't it? Yeah.
Is outsourcing beneficial? The retail price for an iPad would be $1,140 if American workers built it instead of Chinese. Honestly, I thought that price would be low.
Yeah. And so I guess our government's theory now is that if we import a whole bunch of Chinese people, then we can do stuff on site. But
Can't
okay.
do that. They've got to afford Burger King and McDonald's every
That's
day.
true.
So
Yeah, when the workers at Burger King and McDonald's are making $25 an hour.
that
So
is
yeah.
correct. All right, keep going. Oh, we already did this one. Steve Jobs' annual salary was $1 or just enough to keep company health benefits. Is your startup slow to is your startup slow to start up? Microsoft made $16,005 in revenue in its first year of operations. And if you remember, they were building software for a Albuquerque, New Mexico computer company. It was called the Altair 8800
Yep.
for all those tech weenie geeks like myself.
Yeah. And
And
if you
all it
ever saw one
was,
of those things, how ugly those little things were. They were
oh yeah, and all it was lights flashing green or red certain amount of times to give you a yes or no binary answer. Walmart country. If Walmart were classified as a country, it would be the 24th most productive
wow.
country in the world. I think that's probably higher today.
I think so too. Yep.
Put down the butts. The first owner of the Marlboro Company died of lung cancer. Yeah. Actually, my father smoked Marlboro Red for, I don't know, 50 years or whatever the
My
hell it
dad
was.
smoked unfiltered Lucky Strikes until he was 64 years old.
He didn't die of lung cancer, did he?
Nope, he's still alive.
God
Best thing that
bless.
ever happened. He got bronchitis one time, and it was murder for him. And he was like, you know what? If I'm ever going to quit smoking, now's going to be the time. And
Yeah.
hadn't smoked a cigarette since.
My dad's got stage 3 COPD. So,
Oh,
yeah. All right. Can't finish school. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, was a college dropout. And so was Mark Zuckerberg and a lot
and
of
so
other.
was
I
Michael
think Michael Dell
Dell, and
was too.
yeah,
He went to the University of Texas.
was
He was
building
selling computers
computers in
out of
his
his
dorm
dorm
room.
room.
Yeah.
Feeling wet behind the ears, Dell Computers was started by a 19-year-old, Michael Dell, with $1,000. A little foreshadowing. Are you a procrastinator? The Gmail logo was designed the night before it was launched. Not that the logo is anything
I
special,
was
but
going to say, yeah, Google is just their structure of how they do things is just so simplistic and yeah.
love your Louis Vuitton bag. Every year, Louis Vuitton burns all their own sold bags, which is to prevent them from being priced lower. Waste much? Screw not giving it to the homeless so they can carry
Yeah,
all their crap in.
well, that's true. Oh yeah, that would be wonderful. Let the homeless
You
walking
would see
around
that
with
in
Louis
Beverly
Vuitton.
Hills and in Scottsdale, but what can I tell you?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, only want to pay $5 for dinner. Lentil as anything, a successful Australian restaurant allows its customers to pay whatever price they want to pay for their food.
Okay, I don't get
Interesting.
that.
Did not know that. I don't know why. And then one more. Google was originally called Backrub. Aren't you glad they didn't go with that name?
Wow.
I think if they would have done a Google search for that, maybe we would have come up with something different.
And the interesting thing is, on the next show, I'm actually doing a segment on the best business names of all time. Or
Here we go.
so this is just foreshadowing what's coming up.
Any of them called Backrub?
No, there was no back rubs in here, and I'm still trying to figure out how that. I don't get Google, but back rub makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah. But here we go. So these are the jobs with the most projected growth
Hmm.
from my friends over at Visual Capitalist again. Great
Yep.
stuff. We got a couple more of their slides. So I think this should be pretty obvious with all the baby boomers retiring, home health and personal care aides, caregivers, no doubt. Software developers, everybody's got to find a way to hack other people's software.
Yeah.
Restaurant cooks was interesting
Hmm.
because I saw something about 3 years ago about how they were creating robots to cook food.
Yeah.
Putting all the ingredients and it would cook, flip burgers,
Mm.
make steaks and everything else. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Fast food and counter workers. Now, this is rather ironic because anytime I ever go to McDonald's in the morning for my Egg McMuffin and my coffee, they're like, "Did you want to use the kiosk?" And I'm like, "No, I'd like to give you the order because I want my muffin well done." You could request the muffin well done in the kiosk. That's why I'm up here. I could have given you the order already. Yeah. Oh, that, and they want you
Besides
to
you
use the mobile
arguing
app.
with me about this, yeah.
And they want you to use the mobile app.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, how many times I told them I want one sugar in the coffee and they end up putting one cream in and I got to go back.
There we go. This is
Actually,
awesome.
you know what Joe Pesci said in Lethal Weapon 2, what they do So you have to drive through a
Yes, they
window.
do it at the drive-through. Yes, they do.
That's right. This is a kid show, so we will
Yeah.
not say what he says.
They fudge you at the drive show or
Now,
the
I
drive.
will tell you, I thought registered nurses would be up a little bit higher
Yeah,
on this,
I would have put it up there by around home health and personal care.
but to you and I, financial managers are in there
Mm.
with all the talk of robo management and robo allocation and all
Yeah.
that other BS. We know at the end of the day that people want to talk to people. They don't want to just input 10 questions into a computer so it prints out a plan.
And it's interesting, what I'm finding is the Gen Zers have more of a value of working with an advisor. You just got to figure out how to structure stuff to work with them. But I'm finding you like young professionals really want somebody to guide them through the path. Whereas there's that kind of, I guess us Gen Xers, we got to the point where it's now we'll do it all ourselves. But I'm finding the later millennials, early Gen Zers really actually value having an interaction when it comes to
Well,
their
they
finance.
realize the value of it. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, if you're going to go robo, you don't understand the value of what we bring to the
No.
table. But
And those are not
that's
my
a commercial
clients.
for another time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So those are the most projected jobs. Let's move forward here. So I thought this was interesting because I've heard of three main AI tools, right?
Mm.
Obviously, ChatGPT, and I can't figure out the difference between ChatGPT and OpenAI and Copilot. I don't know the difference between all three. Maybe you
OpenAI
can.
is the company that owns
Right.
ChatGPT,
What about
and then
Copilot?
yeah, and then Copilot's an offshoot of that with Microsoft. So
Right,
that
but what's the difference
that's
between ChatGPT and Copilot?
it's basically the same technology. It sits on a ChatGPT technology,
All right.
which actually
Then
90% of these AI tools all sit on top of ChatGPT's technology.
okay.
And
And then the
and
other two major tools that I heard of was Perplexity, which a lot of people like, and
mm,
Gemini. I put
yeah,
Gemini, there's an app you could put on, I have an Android,
yep,
so you could get Gemini on your phone. You could just download the
yeah,
app. It's pretty good, not bad.
yeah.
And obviously on the Surface Pro, it uses Copilot.
Mm.
But I thought it was very interesting, and maybe it's just because of the amount of Android phones that are out there. Gemini has
Yeah,
the
they're
most amount of
deploying
web
it on
traffic.
everything, so it's a little bit of a misnomer. I think actual users, it's probably a little bit less. It's just they're shoving it in your face every time you log on to any form of a Google app or anything like that. There's Gemini that's integrated. I will say from being a user, I write books leveraging AI. I've used multiple tools. The two that I use from a writer's perspective are ChatGPT, which is hands down light years ahead of all these other ones in anything of a language model. And then I use Grammarly, which has
Yeah.
begun to integrate a lot more AI into it. Those are the two primary tools I use. I've
Plus, I think
tested.
Grammarly helps you proofread things too, right?
Yeah, it's even what you get from ChatGPT, I'll go in and edit it, and then I have to go through and edit myself then using Grammarly to clean up the grammar and everything else, and it makes me less wordy in the end. But yeah, those are the two. I use Gemini mainly as a super duper search tool when I go on Google, because that's always that first result that comes up is Gemini looking at everything and pulling it together, so you don't have to go to 30 websites anymore.
Yeah. No, and I like it. I still haven't. You're more of a power user than me,
Mm,
if even if you consider yourself a power user. But the one thing I can't figure out, and I just wrote about this in my quarterly newsletter. I can see the AI benefit to businesses because I've seen
mm,
a little bit for myself. You've seen it for yourself. And now the big thing is, how are they going to monetize this for consumers?
mhm,
And are consumers going to have the appetite to pay for this? And what are they really going to be using it for other than maybe saying, hey, you know what? I want to buy ABC product. Find me three vendors in a 10-mile radius that have the best price for me and how to negotiate.
mhm.
That I can see.
Yep.
On, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't know who's going to want to pay for this because we've become such a subscription society that who's going to want another subscription for something that they might not benefit from on a daily, weekly basis? What are your thoughts?
I would say there will be monetization down the road. I personally, where I see the monetization on a lot of these things is the ability to take some of the questions that are being asked, like a Reddit example. They're using Reddit went public, and really the monetization for Reddit is going to be using that to train some of these generative AI models, so that it can gather all that information of questions and things like that and anticipate answers. So I don't know where the monetization is in this. I think there will be some down the road. I think they are getting so good. I pay $20 for ChatGPT. That is the most productive $20 I spend every month. Honestly, it is hands down. I literally use ChatGPT for 90% of my activities on a given month. Everything from writing to even managing portfolios. I leverage AI for that. So it is an ungodly savings today from that perspective. I think where they're going to monetize a lot is taking those models, combining them together and adding those to the business world, bringing some of that to the business world. I don't know if people are going to be, I think once people start to use it and see the value of it, they would be willing to pay more. But they've set the bar pretty low to start with this, to gather or to get more people involved in using it. And the more people that are using it, the better it gets. I've been using it now for just a little over a year and a half, and how massively it has improved in that time period is unreal.
You know what? Like I said, you're using it for business, not personal. So we will
Yeah,
see.
exactly. But
My
I think
last
once
slide
people
is
learn
here.
to use it, yeah.
Yeah, just what are the industries that are going to
Mhm.
benefit the most?
Yep.
Software, I understand. Semiconductors, I get. Industry, energy, okay.
Mhm.
Utilities, all right. But I find on the very bottom, healthcare equipment and
Yep.
services,
Yeah, it's the most underused in health.
which you think it would be the most because of all the data
Yep.
that's available. So I thought this was interesting, but on the towards the bottom there, like food and beverage, and
Mhm.
I don't know how that is going to benefit at all. Again, gave you the example of McDonald's and the fast food about the kiosk and the mobile app. What
Mhm.
is the AI going to do to improve any? I don't know. We'll see. But again, I get some of those top, but I don't know how REITs are going to benefit from AI, maybe
Yeah.
finding opportunities or how to run things more.
Yeah, how to more efficiently manage that process or whatever. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was the AI conversation.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff, Ron. Thanks for putting that together. I really appreciate it. The jobs thing I think was probably the most interesting out of the whole thing of what the future jobs are. And it was funny how registered nurses and nurse practitioners were towards the bottom, which I would have thought they're so understaffed in most cases. It's amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys coming on. We appreciate everything that you do for us. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give us an upvote wherever you can. And we will see you guys back here the very next time.